We got war headlines with the Venezuela Trump stuff, but the market ultimately went up for the day. I'm going to be going over the futures market in Q and ES. Also, I'm going to go over the top 5 stocks that saw the most success from this Venezuela versus Trump from versus America stuff. I personally don't read the head I read the headlines, but I don't get deep down into the news. So I just go over it and I look at the top stocks that make the most money from the situation. And I analyze them and I chart them out and I can see if there's any opportunity from the situation to get in any of these companies. And I'll let you guys know when I'm doing it and let you guys know when it is good to deploy capital and when it's not. So, without further ado, I'm gonna go over my futures and then we're gonna go over the stocks. The overview of my futures for the day. I did take a L trade today. I wanted to see. I'm still bearish on the daily time frame for NQ. Um, just because that I haven't seen no market share shift to the upside yet, but I did catch a little L trade. I got in when we took out this opening range high right here. I got in on a inversion fair value gap, tap back into it. Also, we closed. This is a called a Venom model from the Inner Circle Trader. We closed above here, right with the buy side amounts, sell sign efficiency. Then we came back down. Good BPR, balanced price range. We came back down with a sell sign of balance, buy sign efficiency. When we tap back up into here, after we had this inversion of this, we tap back up into here. That was my entry. And yeah, man, that was definitely my entry. Looking at it though, let me see something. I didn't really get my entry because we closed below here. I didn't get my entry until oh yeah, it entered right. It came back up here. Yeah. So yeah, that was my brief L trade for today. This opening range was the first 30 minutes, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time to 10 Eastern Standard Time, we had a little chop, right? And then this was just a messy AM session, but I did like what I saw right here, so I did hop in the trade. I had a tight, this was an 8R trade. I had a tight stop loss. It was only for 17 points. So I did take a minor L, saying I wanted to go to the downside for the day. Ultimately, 11:30 to 1:30, that's the lunch session. So we just had a retracement for the lunch session back to this first presented for a value gap. Now, with that being said, coming into 1:30 to 2 o'clock, we get the first presented for a value gap, and that would be where that would be right here, but it's not noticeable. That one's not that much noticeable. So I'm gonna go to this one. We tap into this first presented for a value gap based off the opening range of 1:30 to 2 o'clock. We come back into it, then we sell back off, ultimately coming down here. So we opened up in a huge premium, and we just after we came back down here, we just mainly just moved sideways for the rest of the day. PA price action wasn't that good just because of the news. We had a huge move up based off that news that came out for the Venezuela stuff and the Trump stuff, right? So price action really wasn't that good as far as day trending wise. We had a huge premium gap, and automatically when we have a premium gap like this, I automatically become bearish on the day because I want to sell in a premium and buy in a discount. So yeah, therefore I did take an L trade, but it was a minor L trade. But now we're finna get into the overall higher time frame perspective for futures. First off, we're gonna look at ES. ES had a huge move up, but we ultimately stopped at this daily SIBI right here. Looking at a daily chart on ES. Looking at a daily chart on ES, we stopped at this daily SIBI right here. We came back into it automatically, started selling back out. So yeah, that's ES. Like I said, bro, we had a huge move up based off of the Venezuela news. Now going into a higher time frame chart for NQ. We did not reclaim this daily buy sign of balance, sell sign efficiency. We're still within it. I want to see a strong close out of it to continue bearish. That's what I'm recognizing right now. But based off a higher time frame perspective, we have these good relative equal highs up here, but I'm still bearish. I want to see this 888 get hit before it goes up to take out these relative equal highs. But I could be wrong, but I genuinely definitely want to see that. So yeah, this is what the All right, time for it. Then we had an inversion of this huge sell sign imbalance, buy sign efficiency on this hourly chart. Now, when I'm finna go to next, I'm finna go to the S&P 500 on a daily chart. Just looking at the S&P 500 real quick. Looking at the S&P 500 for my day trading, I'm cautiously bearish. Looking at this chart for the S&P 500, it's obviously very, very, very bullish. We're at all-time highs. Looking at a weekly chart on it, I don't see it want to continue to come down. This is just bullish based off of weekly time frames perspective. So I will not be in any type of puts, right? Then I'm gonna have to look at the dollar ultimately. Ultimately, the dollar did have a market structure shift on the way back up. This was a huge market structure shift for the dollar. And when the dollar goes up, what does that mean? I want to see assets such as stocks and futures come down when the dollar goes up. But I want to know if we want to hold this or is it going to continue coming down further on the dollar? Because based off of what I'm seeing on the S&P, it doesn't look like it wants to come down from a weekly perspective. It's still holding bullish. Now, when we get to NQ, I mean, that's the NASDAQ 100. The NASDAQ 100, bro, is like, yes, is, I mean, the S&P is close to hitting all-time highs, but this just isn't. Like this just it had a huge SMT. But from a weekly perspective, this is still bullish on the NASDAQ 100. We haven't had a market share shift or inversion of anything yet when it comes to the NASDAQ. So I'm still leaning bullish on the NASDAQ from a weekly time frame perspective. But yeah, man, I'm cautiously bullish on the NASDAQ due to the fact that we're so close to hitting all-time highs on the S&P 500, but the NASDAQ's still not there. Not saying it won't get there, but it's still not there, right? Now, with that being said, since I finished that, I'm finna go over the top 5 stocks and I'm finna chart them out with you guys. I'm finna go over the top 5 stocks that had the biggest reward for this Trump and Venezuela stuff. Cause these people is probably rushing and buying these stocks, but they're most likely had a huge move up and most likely they're probably in a premium. So the first stock on the list is Chevron, CVX, right? CVX. The first one is CVX. We can go to stocks. Where this is not popping up. Okay, that's good. Boom, right here. First one we can go to is Chevron. Chevron. Let me get this. I used to chart it out, but now I don't no more because I usually don't trade this. But looking at Chevron, right? Looking at Chevron, which is one of the top stocks, right, that had a huge move up based off this news. Now we are close to all-time highs. I don't buy all-time highs, and I don't recommend anybody buying at all-time highs whatsoever. We took out these relative equal highs right here, right? And this is obviously bullish. This is bullish. So I generally want to see it come back down to this volume imbalance based off a weekly chart, but it still can keep going up with no hesitation. It still can keep going up. As you can see, it's definitely in a freaking premium. It's premium prices right now on Chevron, so I don't see it going up whatsoever. I don't see it going. Not. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I don't see me getting in it for cause for it to go up because what I buy in a discount, I want to see it come below this cost this 0.5, this 156.12 for me to even think about getting into a trade based off of this dealing range. Let's go to a 4-hour chart and let's put it on extended trading hours. Like look at this. We had this huge move up. I do not recommend anybody chasing this like at all. Like, look at this. I had to change that because I had to change the dealing range due to the fact that that happened because I gotta um write down the overnight price action, right? So that happened on Chevron. I don't recommend getting into a Chevron play unless it comes down to this 159.34. And when it gets under it, I'll look to get into calls. But other than that, I'm not doing nothing. This thing is at all-time highs. I don't know why people chase stocks when it's at all-time highs. That new news came out, war, or whatever, over the weekend. Okay, bet. This company's still not doing nothing that I would like for it to do. If you got into it before this happened, salute to you. But right now, I don't recommend anybody chasing it because I'm not chasing it, and it wouldn't be a good way to deploy your capital. You want to buy in a discount, sell in a premium. Now, for whoever was in it before all this happened, it'd be good for big money to be selling right now. Not gonna lie, I would be selling right now. If I saw a good play before this happened, like looking at a daily chart or something, there's no way this was not setting up for that. Like, yeah, we had before this happened, we had a market structure shift and stuff like that, but it was no entry. We just was moving sideways. It was no entry before the news came out, right? So that's my opinion on the first one on the list. The next one on the list is Hal Burton. HAL, Halliburton Company. This is the second stock that had a good up move based off of the news. Looking at a weekly chart, yeah, we had a market structure shift. Looking at this chart from a monthly perspective, we had a good market structure shift. Yeah, so this is very bullish on this chart right here, and we're not at all-time highs yet, right? Last time this company made all-time highs, hold on, wait a minute. It's been a minute. Last time this we got these highs up here at $49 for HAL. We haven't made all-time highs in this company damn near since it IPO'd. close to it, but we got these equal highs up here, I believe. 49.30. Now this higher is a little higher. It's not really big high. So we got this ultimate high up there. I'm watching for it. Definitely looks like a target based off the news. Definitely looks like price wants to go up there, right? But we have to consider all of these highs before it even gets up here. We got this one right here, right? Two, and then this one. So the next drawing liquidity I see for it going up to will be this right here, the price of 35. So you never know though. The news can keep coming out, and the thing about these things is can still keep moving parabolic. It still keep going up and up and up, and you will not get into it. I don't chase it, right? The thing about me, just because something's going crazy within the news, I'm not gonna chase it. I'm gonna chart it out and wait for it to come to my levels. And once it come to my levels, I'm gonna already have my risk, what I want to risk before it even gets to my level. Already have that disclosed. Then I'm gonna see if I could get an entry. Now, going to a daily chart on Halliburton, right? Company. This company, based off of this right here, we're gonna go to a what's the recent swing low that got taken out, right? This swing low got taken out right here. This is a swing low that got taken out. Now we're gonna go to the swing high. Is most likely on the 4 hour. See, boom. So we got this swing low right here from a daily chart perspective. And then we're gonna go to the 4 hour because I know you got to consider pre-market price action because this is part of price action also. So we got this swing high that took out all of these swing highs over here, obviously. So this is the dealing range that how HAL is in. What do I want to do? I want to buy in a discount. So under the 0.5, under this $30 is a discount. And I want to see what happens if it comes down below this $30. And I will consider looking for a entry on HAL. Like down here somewhere will be considerable looking for an entry to go and get into calls. Like I said, I am not chasing all-time highs. I'm not chasing nothing. So based off of that, I would definitely look to get in under that $30. The next one on the list, the third one is SLB. Looking at a weekly chart on SLB, bro, this these companies like this news just saved a lot of these companies right here. As far as I'm concerned, right? So we had to push above. Yeah, we got this market structure shift above this monthly high. So that's good. That's telling me it wants to be bullish. Moving down to a weekly chart. A weekly chart. This is bullish off the weekly chart. We literally just turned bullish. I ain't gonna lie to you. Ultimately was no entry. Yeah, you could got in right here, but nobody was watching these stocks. I mean, nobody was. I wasn't watching these stocks until this news came out. So therefore, SLB. Let me go to the daily chart. Let's see what the dealing range is. I'm gonna go to a 4 hour, but I'm gonna what's the recent swing low that got taken out for SLB? It will be this one got taken out. So this is the dealing range right here. This is the dealing range low, and then I know we for fact made a swing high. Looking at the fib for SLB, I don't I wouldn't recommend unless we make another swing high, keep making swing highs. This is the dealing range right now, currently for the SLB. And I like to what? Buying a discount, selling a premium. So when it comes like to under this $41.32, this was when I would recommend looking for a call on something like SLB. Other than that, I'm just gonna let it keep going up and up and up, and it's gonna keep going up without me. Ultimately, bro, this is a terrible chart, bro. We haven't hit all-time highs in this company ever since when? Ever since 2014, bro. If I'm not mistaken, like this company, it's been a minute since this company hit a new all-time high. Yeah, 2015. Ever since this company hit an all-time high, it's been 2015. So these, in my opinion, these are not good companies I would invest in, and I keep looking on my chart consistently. Like I said, just because this news came out is the reason why the everybody's looking at these stocks. And let me say something. Don't chase news, bro. These news headlines are just the headlines. Don't see something going crazy in news, right? And then just go be like, oh, I'm finna go get a call in it, or I'm finna go put my money in it. That's risky. We don't do that. And when the news come out, we see what the best stocks that's been performing from it. And then we be like, oh yeah, let me see on the chart, where should I get in? Where should I get out? Where should I get out at? So managing your risk the correct way, I will not touch this. Everybody, all the retail is flying to it. And what? When all the retail start flying to it because they know these stocks are going up, what these people are selling on you. You're getting sold. You're getting used as exit liquidity. So you want to manage your capital the right way. Do not chase these big runs. Like I said, under 41.32 is would be best considered for me to buy in at. Moving on to the fourth one, Valero Energy, VLO. Now, this is another energy company. Had a huge run. Huge run. Let's go to the monthly chart. Has it been performing? How has it been performing? So this one's good. So we recently hit all-time highs. It's better than the last few ones I've been looking at. So we recently hit all-time highs in May 2024. I wouldn't say that's good, but it's better than the previous charts that I've seen, right? So this company hit all-time highs today based off the news that came out. And I'm not chasing all-time highs, and I don't recommend anybody to chase all-time highs. We pushed out of this right here, out of this sell sign and balance, buy sign efficiency on the weekly chart. Now what's left to do is left to look at our dealing range. So what's the last swing low that got took out? We could say is this one over here, all right? Last swing low, or this one here. Boom, that's even better. Now we're gonna go to this high, then we're gonna go to see if any pre-market. Did pre-market take this out? No, so that's still a recommended high. What will I recommend? Under this 172.98, I would recommend looking for the opportunity to get in a call on this company. Other than that, it's all-time highs, and I don't chase all-time highs. I want zero to do with them. At all-time highs, I should sit back, let the money grow. If I'm in a play, I'm in a play. If I'm not, I'm not. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm inside of a options contract on it of a call of a company that I'm in, and the market reaches all-time highs, or the price of it reaches all-time highs, I am 90% out of that company. 90% out of it, because I know when it comes down, it's gonna come down, and I don't want most of my money in it when it's at all-time highs. At all-time highs for me is meant for taking profits along, except if you're holding a company for like 5 to 10 plus years, or long term, you're gonna pass this down to your kids type, type company. Other than that, when it comes to short-term investing, I'm not playing with all-time highs, bro. If I'm in a play, I'm out of there, 90%. Boom, let the 10% do what it's gonna do. If it hit my break even, I'm good. Moving on to the fifth company, and it's called Conco Phillips. The ticker symbol is COP. All right, we're gonna look at it. I think I used to chart this out before too, if I'm not mistaken. I used to look at energy all the time. Yeah, I used to chart this out. Sheesh. All right. Now we're gonna go to a monthly time frame. We're gonna do a top-down analysis, right? This company has hit all-time highs ever since May 2024, right? But from a monthly perspective, I like this market structure shift up here. It doesn't have to be a candle close. It just has to be a displacement through. I like this market structure shift on COP, right? Conco Phillips. Moving on to a weekly chart. Moving on to a weekly chart, we have this weekly, we have this volume imbalance, and then we got this weekly buy sign imbalance, sell sign inefficiency. Looking at that, boom. Now we're gonna go to a daily chart to figure out what's the dealing range. What range are we dealing in? You feel me? So, what's the recent swing low that got taken out? We're gonna go with this one. This, you see how this is swing low right here? We're gonna go to that one, right? Boom, and then we're gonna go to right here, see if pre-market, if we took out this high. Yes, see how we took out this high right here. So ultimately, this is the swing high. Now I got my dealing range, right? Like I said, I don't chase these headlines. After I see what the headlines is, I see what the top performing companies that reacted to these headlines, and those are my top 5. This is the dealing range that we're in for this company COP. I'm not gonna look to get any entry inside of this company until it comes below the consequent. I'm not the consequent encouragement, below this $98.25. Ultimately, what do I see under here? I see this 4-hour busy right here. Um, there we go. This 4-hour busy right here. Man, other than that, I am good on these companies. These are all the companies I gave my levels. I just gave my levels from all of them that performed well and had crazy moves based off this Venezuela and Trump news. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting any type of capital inside of them yet because most of them at all-time highs. Everybody is running and chasing them and hurrying up and putting their money into them. You gotta wait for the perfect entry. You gotta wait to buy in a discount and sell in a premium. Right now, I'm looking for discount prices since all of these stocks right here are bullish. So I'm looking for discount prices, and I just gave them all to you. I'm looking for opportunities. I'm not saying when it comes under here, under those prices, automatically get in. You got to look for your entry when it comes into that discount type of range, right? With that being said, man, those are the top stocks based off that Venezuelan and Trump news that's been going crazy. I'm not saying it's going to be a guaranteed entry when you get back into them that they're going to go all the way up, but we just like to look at the market and see what the top stocks are performing from news.